And welcome to episode 22 of Kayfabe is Not Dead. I'm your host, CJ, and what an awesome surprise. We have both of our compatriots on today's show. If you listened to our No Mercy review, you would know that unfortunately, I have to say that Dapper, aka Hulk Hogan over here, retained his title. And we also have Jess, our other resident Hans Gruber, coming in at you. We're here to talk about Raw and SmackDown and 205 Live. We've decided to add that, and to reasons we'll explain later. But yeah, what do you guys think? Early on, you got any opening comments for this episode?
Well, let me
Can
tell
I
you
just start
something,
off by
CJ.
saying
Whoa.
I love The Miz. I'm cutting you off, Dap. I love The Miz, man. Miz
Son of
TV
a-
is my jam. The Miz. I should get a tattoo that just says The Miz.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's called the Jizz.
The Miz, man. The Miz.
What was that, brother?
Well, now it's ruined because we got the little J-Brone over there, just fapping away to the Miz over here.
Hey.
He is Hans Gruber.
He is awesome.
But pretty much, I was just gonna say that as your champ, I was thoroughly impressed with Raw and SmackDown when it came to post No Mercy. It has potential. There was a flicker of light, a flicker of hope. It showed.
In the darkness. In the darkness,
showed.
that was No Mercy. And if you
Yes.
did not have the pleasure of listening to that fine episode, I definitely was the most down on it. I gave it the C, and then our Dapper and Jess both gave it a B. Overall, good matches, but anticlimactic finishes. But the fallout we'll definitely get into, starting with Raw, which we kicked off with Miz TV with special
Oh, yeah.
guest.
Yeah, we did.
Special guest, fresh off of his defeat of John Cena, we get Roman Reigns. And Miz talks, he actually begins by talking about how he can't wait to get home so he can be with Maurice and discuss the future of his unborn child.
Non-failure of a son.
Yeah. Unlike the failure that is Jason Jordan. So he welcomes Roman Reigns, and he, fresh off his coordination by the semi-retiring, in quotes, John Cena, Miz asks what Roman thinks about Cena, calling last night about the passing of the torch, and Roman says how he suddenly now respects Cena for becoming his bitch, essentially, and saying that what he did for the last 15 years was great, and why he was proud to beat the reigning face of the company. Roman tries to wrap things up quick, but Miz takes offense since Roman is acting more important than him, even though he is the one with the championship, and it is Miz TV. I mean, come on, it's the name of the show. After Miz calls Jason Jordan a loser, Roman tells him that Jason is a real athlete and that Miz could never beat him one-on-one, inferring about how the Miz-Taraj interfered into the last match at No Mercy. Roman calls the Miz-Taraj goons, but he calls them out. But Miz says all Roman did was ride the coattails of the other members of the Shield, aka the current tag champs. He believes that the Miz-Taraj was around 5 years ago. They would have beaten the Shield. They would have never become a thing.
Yeah, no doubt on that one, man.
And he's probably accurate.
Roman laughs it off and says it doesn't matter anyway, since he has his own path apart from Dean and Seth, and how his focus is on the Universal Championship. Miz calls him out for thinking beating Cena was an accomplishment, which was great. When he was beaten by Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, and Brock Lesnar. Miz says he's been making the IC title prestigious and is insulted that Roman thinks he's above him. Roman wants to fight tonight, but Miz quickly bails and tries to wave it off. Kurt Angle, though, jumps in and makes the match for tonight between Miz and Roman, and that Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel will face Matt Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan. Sorry, I was going to say the Hardy Boys. So yeah, we got the setup of a Roman Reigns Miz feud and a potential Shield reunion versus the Miz Taraj. So there's a lot to unpack right there. So yeah, what do you guys think?
I mean, I think they kind of shut down the whole Shield Miz Taraj, though.
Well, I think that's ultimately what they're going to be missing.
I mean, I think it would be good if they can pull it off.
We've already gotten the resurrection of the Shield, and I don't care to see it again. I want to see something new at this point.
Well, they haven't done the full resurrection though, because they've only done.
No, they had a one night return of it back when Seth was heel.
Oh, okay, I missed that. But so you guys don't think there will be a reunion?
I think there will be, but we're probably going to save that for a little closer to Mania.
Yeah, see, that would be my assumption, but because they've already gotten 2/3 of them, I mean, it's just too much of a coincidence that Dean and Seth are already tag partners, and it just so happens that Miz has a faction that has exactly 3 people total in it. I think it makes a little too much sense. I think they will pull the trigger. Once again, we were just talking about on the last episode how, WWE, when they want to, they can do a long form stories, but they kind of like to, pull the trigger a little too quickly. So, they're probably not, if they were going to do this Shield reunion, they're probably going to waste it on, the next random pay-per-view. Maybe they'll wait till Survivor Series. I think that might actually be the next Raw one. But what do you guys think of the? Well, I guess we should actually talk about the match. So yeah, Miz and Roman do fight, and Roman goes over, and that sets up a fight next week for the actual IC belt. So what do you guys think of this feud?
I think it's a waste of a title shot.
Well, do you think Roman is?
Yeah, elaborate on that, Hodap.
Yeah.
Why are you feeling this is a waste?
Oh, okay. So normally you say I just talk too much. Now I try and keep it short and sweet for your little princess, and you decide that. Elaborate on us.
Go into a little more detail.
Well, you finally said something interesting for a change, so let's hear why you think it's a waste.
Let's stay on topic, gentlemen. Let's stay on topic.
Okay. The reason why I think it's a waste is because right now The Miz has never been hotter. I mean, he's pretty much the only reason why we care about the Intercontinental title. The only reason why people complain about No Mercy for the fact that the IC title opened the show. The lack of a better term, the curtain jerker. And so he's pretty much developed and has maintained the IC title for what it is. And you're about to give it to Roman Reigns only because John Cena said in one of his promos for the last month, "Oh, I sit here and try and make careers off the U.S. title. You have the U.S. title and you're disappointed because you think it's like a cut in your pay. And now we're going to give him the IC title to prove that he's an actual great worker," which we know he's not that great of a worker. He's a good wrestler, but not a great worker. And all this is going to do, because you know for a fact the only way The Miz will retain is with The Miz Taraj helping him. And if they do something to stop The Miz Taraj from helping him, Roman Reigns will go over, making sure that no one else can pretty much get the IC title unless they do some shady, heelish moves. And it's just going to destroy all motivation and momentum behind the IC title and Miz's, rocket to the top. And that is all.
Wow. I've never heard more wrong statements in a single minute than I just did. CJ, do you have any opinions before I go in the mine?
You can go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No, man. I think we're going to have all members of the Shield set up with belts going into Mania. I think they're going to be the guys to beat. I think it's going to be a very heel-style Mania. And I think Reigns is going to lose the belt just prior to it so he can go after the Universal Championship Or perhaps maybe he'll keep the IC title and hold both belts.
No, that has been left to the Ultimate Warrior, and no one else will do it.
At this point, man, I think it would not be on WWE to troll us with Reigns just any legacy or amazing feat that have been accomplished. He just does it overnight.
Well, I just want to say I didn't know that Jess still believed that the New Day rode in on real unicorns. Apparently, even though we're called Kayfabe's Not Dead, Jess is just riding on this Samoan coattails and believes that Roman Reigns is God's gift to wrestling.
He is.
Oh my God! Just because he has
I am checking his Wikipedia right now, and it says God's gift to wrestling, as edited by Vince McMahon.
So,
this was updated 5 minutes ago. Roman Reigns, and I quote, is God's gift to wrestling.
So yeah, I'm gonna go through kind of like all the promo stuff, and then we'll go through the matches. So then after that, Finn is interviewed.
Well, now hold on. What is your thoughts?
Oh,
Mr. Illustrious host.
Oh well, I'm the Roman Reigns hater, so obviously, I mean, this has potential, but if this is ultimately going to lead to Roman Reigns being the one that goes over the Miz, it's going to be awful. Now, I don't think they're going to do that. I agree with you, Dapper, specifically in that Miz is definitely having a hell of a run currently, as far as
I mean, honestly, name me another Intercontinental Champion that was worth a damn in the last century.
Flair.
I mean, yeah, you're the historian. Bryan. That's definitely not my forte.
In the last 10 years, the last decade,
well,
how many?
I just said Ric Flair, Daniel Bryan.
Well, there's a bunch of heavyweights that have held the title on their way to becoming the world champion. If you're talking specifically just people that have held the Intercontinental title,
no, I'm talking about people that have held the Intercontinental title and have made it worth anything. Dean Ambrose, you said it yourself, did not make the Intercontinental title worth anything. Well, you forgot all about
Kevin Owens.
I definitely.
Kevin Owens, he made the U.S. title worth more.
That's my Intercontinental title. Do you not remember this chant? That's my Intercontinental title. And he got thrown through 3 tables. Is this not ringing a bell?
Yeah, AJ.
No, it does not.
Table superstructure.
AJ Styles and KO are doing great with the U.S. belt.
That's the U.S. belt because you had KO, the face of the United States. Well, he made the U.S. title worth something.
Yeah, well, we're talking
about
the
IC title, he was spinning his wheels.
We're talking about the mid-title card. We have to include the U.S. title because the show, we have 2 different belts that represent the same thing because there's
I understand, but he made the U.S. title worth something. He was spinning his wheels just like Dean Ambrose was with the IC title. The Miz is the only one that has actually promoted the IC title and has made it worth anything.
Well, ultimately, we both agree on the same thing. I think The Miz is going to keep the belt, regardless of what happens. God forbid Roman Reigns keeps winning, but I wouldn't put it past the WWE to fucking pull the trigger and just have Roman Reigns get the belt, especially if they're feeding Brock to him for WrestleMania. Maybe they want to give all 3 members of the Shield the belts.
You know what? After rereading this Wikipedia, I'm predicting right here, right now, that Roman Reigns will have all the belts by the end of Mania this year.
He will not be the Ultimo Dragon.
He's going to get everybody.
He will be both Raw and SmackDown's tag team champion.
He's going to get every single wrestler in the company to lift his arms up. So then we.
If that happens, then I no matter, even if I'm the prediction champion, I will forfeit my title. And I will walk away. Literally take my ball and go home.
So Finn is interviewed backstage where he thanks Bray for downing him and making him push himself to the limit of a mortal man. He says that he hopes Bray feels humility for all of those he humiliated. Finn declares that he is ready to do what he wanted since he came back, which is reclaim the Universal Championship. We also get Kurt Hawkins offering a challenge to anyone in the locker room.
The history maker?
Him. Yeah. And then who were your guesses as to who was going to answer the challenge?
Definitely not who answered the challenge.
What about you, Jess? Do you have any guesses?
I thought it was going to be Apollo Crews.
Yeah, maybe Apollo
Yeah,
Crews.
I was thinking Apollo Crews too, to be honest.
Or, it'd be great if we got a Y2J return, but no, we get the monster among men, Braun Strowman accepts, but Hawkins quickly realizes that's a stupid idea, and he literally flees in horror. Braun catches up to him in the crowd and throws him through a table, and then carries him to the stage and plows him through it. Braun grabs the mic and says that after last night, he's going on a path of destruction that will stay in the ring until somebody gives him a real fight. And who answers that call? So who are your guesses as to who that was going to be?
Someone stupid and, lack of a better term, a lunatic.
Okay, Jess, what about you?
I was actually considering it being Seth.
Well, you were pretty close. Dean Ambrose comes out, so
I didn't know it was going. I knew it was going to be one of those two.
So
leaning more towards Dean.
Just to recap the matches that came before that, Matt Hardy and Jason Jordan beat the Miz Taraj, aka Bo Dallas and Kurt Axel with
No. Not Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel and Razor Ramon 2.0.
All right, via the
gimmick alive.
The Twist of Fate, and then Elias hit a drift away on Apollo Crews. So then we get a pretty awesome match between Dean Ambrose and Braun Strowman. Dean actually, he shows off exactly why people love him. He has that brawler, feisty, like hardcore-esque style where, you keep hitting him, you keep dishing it out, but he keeps getting back up. He's Rocky. And he kind of had Brock in some compromising spots. It definitely wouldn't have shocked me if Dean was able to find a way to win. But eventually Braun is just too much. He hits Dean with a running power slam, and Dean just is out of it, and he gets the 1, 2, 3. So then,
but you know what though? Can I just say something? Honestly, based off the performance of No Mercy, I thought they were going to have Braun lose to Dean Ambrose. But I am so glad they did not, because like I said in the last episode, this is how they can bring back Braun Strowman to be a worthy contender and still considered a monster. Because now it just shows he is a monster among men, but Brock Lesnar's not a man, he's a beast.
Well, he's going to
that's weak logic.
He's essentially going to always win unless it's for the belt. He will never lose a regular match. Well, I'm not going to say never, but it's going to be very rare that he loses a regular
match. He lost against Kalisto. That's a notch on his belt.
Well, that's what I'm saying, a regular match. Like, that was like the dumpster match, and he's also lost to Roman. And let's not talk about that, but anyway, so then after the match, Seth Rollins meets up with Dean backstage, and he's like, dude, what the fuck, man? We're tag team partners. You can't be getting yourself murdered by Braun Strowman, because we might have to defend these. And Dean kind of calls him out and says, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be playing it safe all the time, man. You're going to lose your edge. And Seth's like, you know what? Fine, I'm going to fight Braun next week. So we already got that as a confirmed match for next week, which should be pretty good.
This is how the bar wins the titles back. Just saying.
If only there was, like, multiple, like, monies in the bank and the bar just had those. It could wait for, like, after Seth gets, like, destroyed. So, do you think, like, Seth like, hits a couple of the running knees, the V-triggers, a.k.a. the King's Landings, that, maybe, like, Braun catches him after, like, one and just, like, reverses it into a power slam?
Probably.
Or maybe
I think
he goes for, like, the Phoenix Splash.
I think he's gonna Braun Strowman's gonna destroy him, just like he did Dean, but still allow Seth Rollins to look strong.
Is this how the Shield reforms? Roman Reigns has to come out to save his former brothers in arms?
But he can't, because we all know that Braun can literally kill Roman Reigns.
Well, literally, he hasn't been dead yet. So unless maybe we're watching a resurrected like zombie corpse. That's run
You
by
are. That's
robots.
the only way he was able to beat John Cena.
Any last words, Jess?
What the hell, guys? Keep it together.
I mean,
I feel like I'm the only voice of reason here, and you two are just going off on these, I don't even know what to call them.
I mean, Braun brings
just tangents of craziness.
Braun brings out the ridiculousness, man. What can I say?
Hey, that's the only way you can truly tap in to the WWE thought process and creative to be the 2-time podcast prediction champion. You have to go.
I'm often curious as to why Strowman doesn't go to the writer's room and just say, I'm the champ, undefeated for the next 3 weeks.
You. So, then we get, let's see. Oh, I'm pretty sure, Seth Rollins did beat Sheamus. That was also a pretty good match.
Real quick, since that match happened.
Yeah.
Did you notice in the crowd was a sign of a milk carton with Cesaro's face on it, with the missing teeth or impacted teeth, saying "missing"? Please call if you find my teeth.
Yeah, that was pretty great. I also did notice that there's actually a I don't know if they're available in the shop yet, but there's a bar shirt now.
Really? I thought you were going to say there's a Cesaro action figure with real life teeth missing action.
With real life teeth removal.
Yes. Removable teeth action.
Yes.
It's like what's that game with the alligator? Hungry
Hippos?
Crocodile.
The
crocodile dentist.
Yep. But they just redid it with Cesaro's face.
So
make that a thing, internet. Make that a thing.
Yep, trademark.
So with the end of the Sheamus and Seth Rollins match. Sorry, I had a brain fart. I'm glad that they're still continuing this feud. It definitely looks like they are.
Yep. They have to. What other tag team will do it?
I mean, they have a bunch of good ones, like the Club.
Yeah, they've become jobbers.
Jobbers?
Hey, they're not jobbers. They're brothers.
Yeah, too sweet me. I think
they're a couple of good brothers.
Unfortunately, I think the Revival got hurt again.
The other guy got hurt.
Yeah. Dash, yeah, he's the one that got hurt this time.
No, Dawson. I think Dawson. Whichever one looks like Perry Saturn. That one.
So yeah, I'm not.
What was this, a house show or just?
I think it was a house show a while ago.
Yeah, it was.
I think he hurt his shoulder.
Ago. It was like right after they came back.
Yeah, I think he hurt his shoulder.
But so then we get a promo with Alexa Bliss. She's like, "Oh, the crowd, you guys are so great. Except you should have been, cheering me on since the very beginning, because I'm your goddess." And then Mickie James comes out surprisingly, and says, "You know what?
I thought she was gone. I didn't even know she was back there. I thought the 5 people in the Fatal 5-Way was the entire women's division.
Yeah, I think that's what everybody thought. So Mickie James comes out and she's like, I'm still here and you didn't fight me, so fuck you, we're fighting. And Alexa Bliss is like, I don't really care about you and you're old. And then with that, Mickie James puts Alexa Bliss in the dirt with the slap. And yeah, it looks like that. This is the next feud that we're getting, which is as somebody that has been not a Mickie James hater, but somebody that's just been like, what is your deal? Like, she's always it's actually really a lot like Natalya, where they're fine in the ring, but they kind of get overshadowed by these bigger personalities. But you know what? I'm all for more people getting chances. Would I rather this be Emma instead? Sure. Yeah. But you know what? If Mickie James can get a good program, then you know what? By all means, have at it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, if you got the story for it, let's see what you can do.
Mickie's
definitely shown over the years that she's she's good. So
I'm honestly excited for this. One, because it's my two most favorite divas / women wrestlers that they have right now in the Raw roster. And this gives the opportunity for Sasha Banks and Bayley to have a little feud and build up to deserve a title shot.
So yeah, we actually we did have a women's match. We had the Bayley and Sasha versus Emma and Nia Jax. Did you guys really have any comments on that?
Nope. Thought it was kind of lackluster. I forgot all about it.
I thought it was a fun match. I had no problems with it.
Bayley hits the Bayley to belly on Emma. There's no way she could do that to Nia. And that's how they got the win. I think they're still teasing this kind of Sasha Bayley split. I really think this is going to be a Sasha going heel kind of thing. They did have this backstage moment where they're kind of talking about how they're both sorry about like breaking each other's pins, but you know it's a singles match, so it's no big deal. They're still besties, so they're kind of hinting at that breakup. Another friendship breaking up. Why can't we all just be friends?
Because it doesn't sell tickets.
2017 was the year friendship went to die.
Yes. But you know what? I was kind of surprised about the women's match. Nia Jax was alive. I thought she died from the quadruple power slam onto the
that was a crazy bump.
Yeah, that was insane, man.
She snapped her neck, kneed herself in the face, and I didn't see her the rest of the match.
Yeah, and
if ever we were going to get an injury last night, I thought that would have been the match.
Well, she's got a lot of cushion.
And that would have been the spot, man. Would you hit that concrete? Oof.
We do get the Roman Reigns. The Roman Reigns and Miz fight did not end the telecast. So Roman Reigns actually has a decent match with Miz. You know, Miz tries to do, you know, all the crazy shenanigans, but eventually Reigns hits the spear and actually goes over and gets the win. So they've made this
shocker. The blue chip prospect.
They actually make this a title match next week. I highly doubt that. I mean, if anything, Miz is just going to disqualify himself.
That's what he should do.
I mean, yeah, that's champion advantage. But did you guys have any comments on the actual match?
I mean, I thought it was just okay. I think next week will be better because we're going to have the Miz Taraj in the corner, and they're going to be like 100%. Not, oh, we just got our ass whooped by half a Hardy and the Jason Jordan angle son. Yeah.
What about you, Jess?
No strong feelings on this match.
Yeah.
To be honest.
So,
wow. This was the placeholder of the night for me, honestly.
So then Goldust attacks Finn Balor.
I really wish I had more to say about it.
Yeah, I mean,
I do too. I can't carry this whole podcast.
That's my problem with Roman Reigns. It's just there's not a lot to tell about him. Like even Miz can't carry. I mean, Miz carried him for.
Well, you know what? Here, I'll say something positive about Roman Reigns.
There's plenty to say positive about him. I mean,
no. I got one positive thing.
He always looks wet.
They all do, but I have one positive thing. If Jason Momoa cannot show up for the Conan the Barbarian movie, we might have somebody as a backup.
He could at least be a stand-in.
Yes. So, if we need Conan to throw a spear, we know a guy.
So in one of the more bizarre...
This might be a little off topic, but is that Arnold coming back for that third Conan thing completely dead in the water now?
I think they actually put it on ice.
I think it's gonna work. I think it will do it.
Oh my god! I actually want them to because the story.
I want them to.
Really
I want to see it.
I want to finish the story.
But I actually don't think they're doing it now. I think Arnold did say they're doing Terminator though, and James Cameron's coming back. But this is not a movie podcast. If you want to listen to us do a movie podcast, tell us in the comments below. Hit us up on Twitter. You know,
I will make sure to write in the comment.
Yeah.
Because I want to do a movie podcast.
All right, so then we get Goldust attacking
Good God.
Finn Balor for reasons. I guess it's because Goldust is his own man. He's a strong, independent man that don't need no help.
Now, what happened with R-Truth, man? Did he get injured in the background, and that's
dude,
that kind of put the damper on it, or
there's a million wrestlers that just kind of get forgotten about. So yeah, R-Truth is in that mid card hell where
he just didn't show up one week and then forgot that was the story. They're like, holy, go fight this guy.
They were having those dueling great movie reference. They
went nowhere.
They kept doing those vignettes. We thought they were gonna fight at what? Was it Great Balls or Fastlane? We kept saying this was gonna be in the pre-show, and then they kept not doing it, and then we had that meme develop of how we're always wrong about the pre-show because we kept saying they're gonna do it.
It was supposed to be Great Balls pre-show. It was actually in the card, and then they got rid of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
No explanation ever given.
Dude,
no, but, they literally made R-Truth disappear and die. He died somewhere.
So after Goldust attacks Finn, they actually have a match. Finn wins with the coup de grace. The lights go out, and then a creepy kid sings, he's got the whole world in his hands, which means the Bray feud is not over! What the fuck?
Oh my god.
I can't believe they went with the kid again. What the hell, man? Move past it.
Because it's creepy, but it's not creepy in the PG era when everybody holds up freaking cell phone flashlights.
So, okay, so if you were listening
don't you know, though, that Bray Wyatt has to lose 3 times before his feud's over?
He's like a boss in a video
He's like a reverse Beetlejuice. You gotta say his name. You gotta beat him 3 times.
Yeah, he just won't go away until you defeat him 3 times. He's like Gary from Pokemon. But,
yes.
But, okay, so we were hinting at this at our No Mercy review, but... Okay, if the plan was for this to continue, like always, why the fuck do you have Finn beat him in the second match? If this feud's gonna continue, like, Bray has to win for these to have any kind of stakes. Just having a kid creep Finn out, like, he's a fucking demon. Why does he give a shit if a kid is all like, you got the whole world is, like, come on, this is so fucking stupid. How who's making the decisions here?
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm not sure they know how to present the demon, man. That seems to be the biggest issue going right now.
No, I think they did the demon well. I think they have no idea what to do with Bray Wyatt, just like they have no idea what to do with Bo Dallas, and they had no idea what to do with their dad, the IRS.
Well, okay, I think my biggest issue with this is this could work. The whole Bray trying to, like, brainwash the demon or whatever. But, like,
what would the match be? We already had man versus man, Eater Worlds versus Demons. What's next? The coal miner versus the biker? Like, come on.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's just...
I'm down with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, Jess, what do you think?
At this point, I'm down with anything that's different.
I mean, did you have any comments on
yeah, no, man. I'm down for this coal miner main eventing mania. Let's do this.
The only thing that Bray Wyatt has ever done right was Bray Wyatt as a child in WWE Camp WWE.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
With his trouser mice. That was the only saving grace for his character.
I was gonna say I liked his initial feuds with the Shield, with Roman. I liked him when he was part of the family because it gave an excuse for him losing because it would be somebody in the family got pinned, not him. Yes. But without somebody there to eat the losses, he's just a non-stop, like, fucking fail machine.
So
I know he's the anti-Asuka.
I'm not gonna take the credit for this. I don't know where. I forget exactly where I read this theory, or I might have heard it on a podcast.
I think his losing streak is worse than the one guy who claims he has the losing
Kurt
streak.
Hawkins one.
Yes.
So I am full stop. I am not taking credit for this. I'm just I heard this somewhere else, so it gave me the nugget for this. It got the wheels turning. So
all right, what do you got?
So because Braun keeps losing, isn't this a perfect time to get the family back together? Isn't this time for him to use his voodoo magic to brainwash some people? And who is the best candidate to get brainwashed? Who is super angry and agitated over the whole world right now?
The two former Wyatts over on SmackDown who don't do anything.
Well, let's assume.
Or Jason Jordan, really?
Let's assume that. Well, that would actually be awesome.
That would not be awesome.
That would be
because he doesn't have a beard. That is a prereq of being in the Wyatt family.
You know what I would like to see? That Xavier Woods,
like high society. He could go to like dinner functions and stuff. Like Bray can't show up to a dinner function, but Jason Jordan can. He can be the mole.
Yeah, I want to see Xavier Woods Wyatt thing kind of
with a fake
resurrected, but now I want to see Xavier just have like a clip-on beard he puts on when he's under mind control and take it off.
What I was getting at though is why don't they have Braun Strowman? Like if Braun Strowman isn't going to be fighting for the belt,
because Strowman's the face of the company right now, man. Let's not mix words. He's the main reason anybody's turning in.
That would definitely make Bray credible if he got Braun on his side again. But anyway, I'm not going to digress. I just saw that somewhere and I thought it was interesting.
You know what we should do?
It kind of made sense because Braun doesn't really have anything to do now.
You know what they should do? They should take that team, that three-person team, 2 guys and a girl, from NXT. That's like steampunk, emo, slit my wrists.
They're pretty bad though, man. I mean, no offense to them directly, but they are not main. They are not main talent yet.
Yeah, I think they would go great with Bray Wyatt because everyone who goes with Bray Wyatt sucks. They can't. They have no character development.
Wow.
All we do is we throw them in with the bearded wonder.
I feel okay.
Kill you all.
Time out. I feel like I got to give this disclaimer every show, but I might have to start adding it to the actual descriptions. But once again, our unfortunate champion, our out of touch champion, does not speak for all of the members of Kayfabe is Not Dead, and he is not the official opinion of this podcast.
Well, since you've already given that opinion, man, I want to see Jericho come back as a huge Trump supporter, and the walls of Jericho be like a metaphor.
Did you see the guy in the MMA fight win with the walls of Jericho?
I saw that,
yeah,
that's fantastic. Oh my god.
Kayfabe lives on.
Yep, it does. Even in the UFC.
The best thing was the guy videotaping is like, "It's the walls of Jericho," and then the guy taps immediately.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, if you're doing that for real, your spine and your legs are gonna get screwed up.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the doctor. What would that do to specifically your vertebrae?
It would break the spinous processes of your vertebrae.
Yeah,
your back is not designed to do that.
Yeah,
I'm not a doctor, but that sounds pretty intense.
You're literally torquing your vertebrae the wrong way.
You're not even torquing it. You're compressing the little pieces of bone that stick out of your back.
So kids,
and you're just snapping them.
So Dr. Dapper, you're stating that kids should not do the walls of Jericho to their friends.
No. They should not, unless they hate their friends.
And want to potentially paralyze them. Moving on. So then,
if you want to make your friend a quadriplegic, walls of Jericho it up.
So then we get the actual end of the show, which was, I think, what a lot of us were waiting for. And if you didn't watch No Mercy or you didn't see or listen to our review show, you wouldn't know that Enzo somehow, dastardly, beat the king, the rightful king of the cruiserweights, Neville, with a low blow to beat Neville and become the new cruiserweight champion. And I think this was honestly the best storyline going into Monday. That's not saying too much, but say what you will about Neville as far as whether you like him or hate him. I love him even if he's a heel, but. I think everybody can say he is legitimately the best technical wrestler in that division. So it's pretty crazy.
He's the best heel in the 205 division.
He's the only heel that's worthwhile in the 205 division.
So Enzo, and they actually we go into it a little more in depth in the No Mercy review, but WWE was actually able to pull and we find out more in this episode that the patented double turn. Neville actually goes face against a heel Enzo, and if you told me this back in January or February of this year, while Enzo and Big Cass are looking like they're about to get pushed to become tag team champions, that not only do they break up, but Enzo goes over Neville for the fucking Cruiserweight Championship, I would have slapped you and told you to get the fuck out of my face.
As a heel, put the caveat as a heel.
Yeah, as a heel. So immediately, just because every heel that has a championship belt now is a chicken shit, Enzo immediately goes to Kurt Angle and asks towards the beginning of the show for a like a no harm clause, like a no touch clause, like unless you're in a sanctioned match with me, if you touch me, if you shake my hand, if you will lose, you will forfeit your any chance of wrestling me specifically for the championship. I.e., he means this against Neville because, of course, Enzo
Neville's
beat him
gonna beat his ass.
Yeah, Neville beat him with a low blow. So not only did he hit him in the nuts, but he beat him with that dastardly tactic. So of course Neville's going to be just itching to get revenge. For reasons unknown, Kurt decides to go with this. He's like, okay, sure, that sounds correct. And then Enzo.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. It's common sense. Come on.
Yeah, so Enzo, he comes out to end the show to give a gloating promo about how great
Can
he
I
is.
just say this about his promo? He was saying what everyone else was saying about 205.
Oh,
who are you?
Oh,
what are you? What is your character? Why do you suck so bad?
I'm gonna get into that, Dapper. Thank you. Anyway,
well, get to the point quicker, now, man. We're all thinking it.
He's talking about how he's the real star. He calls out all the haters, including Big Cass and all the fans, to all the other cruiserweights. But then Neville comes out and he calls Enzo toxic and that he's only invading 205 because no one else wants him. Enzo tells Neville not to touch him or else he's going to lose a shot at the title, and the rest of the locker room comes out as well, and Enzo kind of goes like through the line, and he calls not Cedric Alexander, was it Rich Swann? He said like he has no charisma.
Charisma.
Yeah, he just goes through like the whole line. Basically,
he literally goes down the line,
pissing everybody off. So eventually, and Neville's in the ring.
But what he said wasn't wrong.
No, he was right.
And
he was 100% accurate, like CJ used to say in the beginning of our podcast. God forbid the heels tell us the truth.
Yeah, well, we need to get a running counter on how many times I point that out, because once again on this episode of heels telling the truth, technically Enzo is correct.
My favorite, can I just say my favorite comment that Enzo said? And I will remember this forever now. If you take all of 205's merch, it doesn't even cast a shadow to what Enzo has sold.
That's true.
And I bet you that's 100% accurate.
Oh, by the way,
he's like, how many shirts have you sold? Swan. Exactly.
We might be mixing up some of the insults, by the way. I think Enzo did save some of these for 205 Live. But anyway, at the end, Neville gets in the ring and gets in Enzo's face, and it looks like he's about to strike him, but then Enzo reaches in his pocket and literally pulls out the piece of paper that says, you lay a finger on me, no title, no precious for you, and we all know that Neville... That is
I love the Hobbit comments, by the way.
Yeah, Neville is literally... He does the same thing KO does, and I love it when they do this. They are literally obsessed with the title, and they will do nothing. They will stop at nothing to get it, or get it back, especially. It's like a drug for them. Like
this is why the Miz
KO does the same
IC.
whole like precious thing. Like he'll yell out during the match like, "This is why I'm the champ," and like all that. Neville, I don't think yells as much as KO, but anyway, it's the same kind of thing. So it wasn't going to be surprising to me if Neville actually stopped and like they actually played this out. But oh no, they did not wait. Neville goes ballistic and just absolutely destroys him.
Now, can I say something? Interrupt one quick.
Can we? Well, do you guys want to save for the rest of what happens for when we get into 205? Do you want to talk about 205 right now?
Yes, we can. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, let's move into 205.
I didn't watch it.
So
but I just want to say real quick, when Neville attacks, I thought this was a perfect opportunity to now strip Neville of his chance for a rematch, have Enzo just go and belittle each wrestler for 205 one by one, and allow 205 to develop characters for each one of these people. And now you can go on to what happened, because this is how they completely just shat on what my thought process was.
Well, they actually kind of go with what you're saying. So
until they all attack him.
Well, I think this is going to lead to something. So that's exactly what happened. So
you think it would lead to something?
So well, because we don't know what the future.
Quarter of the night.
Yeah. Well, we can't trust WWE.
You know what it?
We
what
were
it
just
led
talking
to?
about it earlier. They literally just dropped storylines out of nowhere, aka the R-Truth Goldust feud. So who knows?
You know what it led to? You know what it led to? It led to a month free of title defenses for Enzo. Yeah. Literally a get out of jail free card where he does not have to defend it next month.
Let me actually explain what happened, and then we can theory craft as to what will play out. So, for reasons unknown, I guess just to hype up and make it more mysterious, Raw ended with Neville beating the shit out of Enzo, and that was it. Well, apparently, and this was, I guess, available on WWE.com or YouTube, but the rest of the division went down to the ring after Neville started it, and they all hit their finishers on Enzo as well. So
Enzo literally died when he was sitting in the corner and got a knee to the face.
Yeah,
he died.
So essentially what Dapper is saying is correct. The entire division, because that no touch clause was technically only for that Monday night, and so every single wrestler violated that clause. So in theory, nobody can have a title shot indefinitely until somebody else beats Enzo, or Enzo's stripped of the belt, or he gets injured, or Kurt Angle is finally tired of his shit and fires him, or whatever. So that's where we're at to start 205. So Enzo comes out, and he's like even more fucked up than he was from No Mercy. He literally has a crutch. He's wrapped up in bandages, and he's like he takes as long as Undertaker takes to get to the ring. He doesn't even do his whole opening promo, entrance promo spiel, because he can't dance around like he normally does. So he says that everyone's going to have to deal with him being champ, since the entire roster beat him up on Raw after it went off air. He calls everybody out, but especially Cedric Alexander, saying he hides his charisma. And also that he calls out the Hobbit elf, former king known as Neville. He's putting eyeballs on 205.
Yes,
and that's the whole reason why he's here, and
And he even said that in his promo.
Yeah. So the crowd, my favorite part, the crowd starts chanting, "You deserve it," implying he deserved the beatdown because he sucks.
And no, he deserved the title.
They were implying that he deserved the title.
No, that is definitely not what they were hinting at.
I watched 205.
I didn't watch 205, and that's how I interpreted it.
Nobody should ever watch 205.
They started chanting as he was describing the beatdown. That's when they started chanting. So Enzo flips it and says, "Thank you, I do deserve this championship." So you guys are correct. That's what he flips it as, but that's not how the chant started. I definitely want to make that clear. So that's
he has more titles than Big Cass does.
That's true.
So then we get.
What happened to Big Cass, by the way, man? Have you not seen him?
He tore his ACL.
Jeez.
Fighting Enzo.
Fighting Enzo.
So,
Enzo took out the big man.
So then we'll get to the rest of the card. So
It all makes
that was
sense.
the opening promo of the show. So then
That's all that mattered.
Akira Tozawa defeats Tony Nese via the top rope senton. It was a pretty standard match, but Drew Gulak is giving commentary, and he's talking about how he doesn't like Akira Tozawa's chanting. And if for those not following 205 Live, Drew is kind of like the stickler for the rules. Like, he's running for like mayor of 205 Live. His whole campaign is how he can make 205 great. Great again. Kind of like that's like he's always wearing a suit.
205 was ever good.
And he's always, hey, I resent that.
It was when they had the tournament.
And they're and like he gives these PowerPoint presentations on how like you shouldn't cheer or you shouldn't chant or you should like shake the ref's hands. He's all about like sportsmanship and like being very.
You mean Gallagher?
Very
or Gallahan.
Very well, no, Gallagher is a heel now.
What?
Yeah, so he's all about that. So he's actually giving
he's a vaudevillain.
He's exactly. So he is giving commentary, and he's talking about how like Tozawa's chants are ruining 205 Live, and it's all
I believe
bullshit.
That.
And then he gives another PowerPoint presentation, and he lets everybody know what proposal number 7 is out of a total of 257.
Oh, taking a page out of Jericho's book.
The 1,000 holds.
Yes.
So proposal number
wrist
7.
Lock. Top wrist lock.
Proposal number 7 is no celebrating. So if you should not celebrate after you win a match or a belt, you should just acknowledge the ref and leave. So I fucking love this gimmick. I think it's hilarious, especially because he's definitely like he's not corpsing. He's definitely fully serious about this. And then Aria Daivari then sucks up to Enzo as he's trying to get on. He's like, "Oh man, well, I kind of, I was afflicted by mob mentality. I got suckered in by peer pressure. I didn't really mean those things when I participated in the awful attack.
I didn't really mean to knee you right in the temple."
Yeah. So he's trying to get
he's
trying to get a championship match out of this. Very similar to like a reverse Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, just trying to like get on the heel's good side kind of deal. So then we get a continuation of the TJP and Rich Swann feud. TJP like ripped out a piece of Rich's hair, and it's nuts. Whatever. So finally,
that's what I say about 205 in general.
Finally,
whatever.
I don't mean that as I'm not condemning TJP and Rich Swann. It's just the whole hair thing's really weird. Like TJP's using it as like a mustache and shit. So anyway, I like Rich Swann though. He's cool. He's got good dance.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
But anyway,
he's decent.
We get to the
He's
finale.
good enough to be on 205.
So then we get Neville, the former king of the Cruiserweights, shows up, and he lets everybody know that he has not gone crazy. He has not gone mad. He's not gone insane. He knows exactly what he did. And even though he lost a chance to get the title, that he would do it again and again.
The best thing about that is, did you see that they've used that now as a meme and a GIF for like alcoholism?
And again and again.
Where they're like, the thing I saw on Facebook was, when your friend gets drunk last night, but knows exactly what happened. Yeah, I know what I did, and I'd do it again.
And again. And he's going to continue to beat up Enzo until he leaves 205 Live.
That'll never happen.
So he's essentially going to murder Enzo. He's going to literally pull a Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. He's going to like burn the guy's house down. He's going to kill his family. He's going to do whatever it takes until Enzo leaves 205.
Now, how crazy would it be if Enzo continues to get "do not touch me" clauses and Neville continues to break them, and this feud literally goes on till WrestleMania?
Well, I just convinced myself that Neville should join Bray Wyatt.
They have the beard. He's got the beard.
Yeah, he is kind of goblin-y, man.
Goblin, Eater of Worlds. I could see that happening.
Like, I could definitely see this as being WWE's way of transitioning Neville to the main roster, not as a member of the Wyatt family, but just because he can't fight in 205 anymore because he's beat up the champ. Like, he literally, there's nothing for him to do.
It's a great way to substitute Neville with Apollo Crews.
Mm-hmm.
Just throw Apollo Crews into 205.
Yeah.
Man, you and Apollo, huh?
So
just your jam?
Yeah, I mean, hey, you suck. Go to 205.
Neville defeats Arya Daivari. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that earlier, by the way. Via submission with the Rings of Saturn.
Nope, sorry, just come up with a better name.
And before Arya is done tapping, Enzo shows up and attacks Neville with his crutch. He continued to assault him until two officials got the crutch away from him and pushed him to the outside, which just goes to show the strength of Enzo. Usually it takes
the refs
army,
are strong arming him.
Yeah, usually it takes an entire army of bodyguards to stop an attack by a heel. Enzo yells at the crowd as they boo him, asking why they aren't chanting "You deserve it" at Neville, and that is how they finish the episode. So that's the 205 feud. It's ongoing, obviously, but I thought that was an awesome episode of 205 Live. A pretty good
I think
episode
I think it was the biggest in attendance of people to stay after SmackDown.
Yeah, probably was. No doubt about that.
Yep. So, do you guys want to continue into SmackDown, or do you want to save that for?
Let's just get it over with. Let's go all the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on for another. Let's do 20 minutes, and then
okay.
I'm hopping off.
So
let's wrap up how shitty it was.
We're gonna do this.
Hey man.
We're gonna do this a little differently.
All I can tell you is Kevin Owens looked like he had a shitty time.
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
That's why he went to Disney.
All right, can I speak now?
Yes, you can speak. The champion says you can speak.
I met Kevin Owens at Disney World.
So, I will mention like the matches, but I'm mainly going to go through this as the card to Hell in the Cell. So I'm not necessarily going to follow how SmackDown played out as usual. So first we'll start out with the Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon Hell in the Cell match, which has been
the only thing I'm looking forward to.
So Sami Zayn actually tries to talk some sense into KO. He's how KO's become like, he's literally kind of like what's happened to Neville. He's become incensed. He's become crazy.
He's become Smeagol.
Gollum.
Yes.
Over this belt, like he's lost his mind, and how he has to remember that he has he has to worry about his career and his family, and he shouldn't let this get to him. He's putting his career in jeopardy, and Sammy's being very sincere and very earnest, and he's trying to help his friend, even though they're
fighting forever.
They're not friends anymore, but he's still he just shows how good of a guy Sammy is, that he still at least cares for his career.
I mean, Sammy just kind of comes off as just very generic.
I hate you.
I'm not a fan of Sammy, man, but I mean, even I gotta admit, he's become a non-entity.
Well, let me actually finish what the opening was. So, KO doesn't really give a shit, and we have a match. So, yeah, KO's like, I'll do it again and again. So, Zayn then gets destroyed as the main event of SmackDown. And as KO is about to decapitate him with a chair, he puts a chair around him like a noose, and like I don't know if he's about to like slam him or like throw him into
Throw him into the
into the
post.
post.
Snap
Yeah.
his neck.
Like yeah,
Snap his neck
he
like the
was gonna do
ginger he
something
is.
terrible, but then Shane O'Mac comes out to save the day. But he
while running into the chair.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
KO uses Sammy as like a human shield kind of thing and just pushes Sammy towards Shane. And as Shane is running
saw his
towards
opportunity to eliminate a problem.
Yeah,
He's
so
like, oh, here
as
to
Shane,
Sammy.
as Shane is sprinting down the ramp, and the ramp is not like parallel, like it's obviously downward facing, so he's catching extra momentum.
Decline? Is that the word you're looking for, champ?
Yeah, thank you. So as he's running down the decline, he's obviously accelerating. So Sammy gets pushed with the chair around his neck, and it appears that Shane O'Mac catches a part of the chair in the face. Now, I haven't really slowed it down and watched it too much to see if like it was a Cesaro situation. He has to get like his teeth looked at or whatever. But it does look like he got hit, and I don't know like how badly this hit, but Shane immediately goes down, and KO just does a serial killer death stare, and yeah, so I'm excited for this match. I hope KO does kill Shane O'Mac in this match, because that's what should happen.
I'm excited for it as long as Shane does not
against
find
Shane
the
O'Mac nonstop since I met you, but every time you actually watch a match of his, you're like, man, he's actually pretty good.
Well,
you were completely pissed off that he was fighting Styles at Mania, and then that turned out to be one of your favorite matches.
Okay, I think what I will say is what I think a lot of other people think. It's not that Shane can't tell good stories, but he's not.
It's the people he's in the match with tell it better.
Well, and also he's not a wrestler. He's not yes, he's trained, but he is not of the athletic prowess of a regular wrestler is. Yes,
no, he's as trained as Roman Reigns.
He can take bumps and he can like do crazy high spots, but as far as like being able to perform technical maneuvers and like having legitimate finishes and like doing like crazy reversals and stuff, that's not in Shane's repertoire. And because that is just a limit to his like he's not Daniel Bryan, he's not Kane, he's not Mick Foley, he's not a former wrestler that is just so happens to be the GM now. He's never been a wrestler, and I've always had a problem with him besides the one or two kind of matches he has per year. But my problem with it being AJ Styles is legit one of the top 3 best wrestlers, not only in WWE, but in the fucking world. And the fact that was his, not that they couldn't feud, but the fact that was his WrestleMania match where he should be fighting for the world title was what super pissed me off. Was I happy with the actual match that we got? Yes. Was I surprised at the caliber of the match? Yes. But how many bad matches has AJ Styles had, period? He could wrestle with an inanimate object. Hell, make it a fucking sex doll, and it would still probably be a 3.
That was Kenny Omega.
And it would still probably be a 3-star match. So you know what?
Only 3?
I don't think it's that crazy credit
selling them short,
to give to.
All right, CJ, I let you run your mouth long enough. I totally disagree with you on this, but let's move on.
I want to talk about the Hell in the Cell potential.
I just don't want Shane to jump off the Hell in the Cell.
No, he has to jump off it, not
there
once.
There has to be a spot.
Not twice, but 5 times.
So
he has to take 5 bumps off it into a chainsaw.
Well, I wanted to comment on the actual match.
He's constantly topping himself, man. He's got to do it.
I wanted to comment on the match before the actual SmackDown, the Sammy and KO match, before we get too much into the Hell in the Cell part of it. So the match was great. I know it's become a meme, but it is. I mean, I think you guys agree with me that Sammy and KO could fight forever. I mean, they have such great chemistry. Every single match they have is
Sammy and
great.
KO is just like Goku and Vegeta. That's all it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except Goku and Vegeta are both really good fighters. Kevin Owens.
Yeah, but Sami Zayn will always be the Vegeta of the WWE.
What? Vegeta's
I can't give you that one.
Yeah, Vegeta's the anti-hero asshole.
No, but he's always second string to Goku.
Yeah.
Somebody's not been keeping up on Super.
So
that doesn't count.
I hope though that this is the sign that we're potentially getting another Sammy KO feud, because I mean, even if it happens a million times, unlike the Dean Ambrose Miz feuds that have happened, even without a belt, KO and Sammy, their feuds will always be great. And I also hope that this is the beginning of a Sammy push of some kind, just because he was involved in the main event. Maybe Sammy becomes the guest referee for the Hell in the Cell match or something crazy like that. But what do you guys think about the build, the match, and what we're potentially going to get at Hell in the Cell between Shane O'Mac and KO?
I think
they know they don't have an.
Well, one at a time. I'll let Jess go first.
I'll cut off. I think they know not too many people were hyped for this match, so they've done a phenomenal job building for it. I mean, between every week, it just seems to up itself. I don't even know where to start with it, between how a whole match setup came about to McMahon walking in there, getting the bloody forehead, to, I mean, this has been a nonstop just escalation of perfection, in my opinion.
Well, okay, so obviously we're going to get some high spots.
Not a single misstep. It's been phenomenal. Well, I'm very much excited for this match, and I'm just disappointed you guys aren't.
Well,
I am very excited for this match. It's the only reason why I'm going to watch Hell in the Cell, because I have no idea what the other matches are, because they don't promote them at all.
Come on, man. If you think for 30 seconds, Gender's showing up somewhere.
Oh my God. He's not going to show up because he was racist.
I will go through the rest of the card in a minute, John. But I think that ultimately, while we will get a pretty fun match, and obviously Shane's going to do some crazy spots, maybe KO will do a running power bomb, and power bomb through the cage or something like that.
What I wonder though is, do you think Daniel Bryan or Shane goes backstage in the locker room and is like, "Hey guys, just want to let you know, I'm Shane McMahon, the general manager or whatever he is of SmackDown, and I feel bad that I have to come out of, lack of a better term, retirement to put on a match because you guys can't hold it yourself."
No, I don't think that's what he does. I think
he should.
I think that's word for word what he tells them every time he goes back there.
I think he should, because this is honestly, his match with KO is the only reason why I'm watching it. Because it's the only one they've been promoting.
This only ends though with KO destroying Shane, though, right?
Yes.
But
it's going to be the best match of the night.
Well, okay, so let's say KO does win, he does destroy Shane. What does KO do next? Does he go back to feuding with AJ? Does he go after Jinder?
I'm hoping Night of Champions comes around and he goes to Raw.
He better go back to AJ.
I mean, we'll talk about this when we get a little bit closer to our...
or drop down to 205.
I hope we can talk about this when we get close to the Hell in the Cell. But what I would theory craft is we get Shinsuke versus KO.
That would be amazing, but it will never happen because we're stuck on this damn gender thing.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. So my end goal though is I hope Sammy gets involved one way or another. I mean,
he'll be in the crowd somewhere in a wheelchair.
He deserves it.
Yeah, you guys are full of it.
So then we get the New Day versus the Usos, which I believe will also be in a cell. For some reason, some of these pay-per-view matches, even though it's called Hell in the Cell, some of them are not going to be in the cell. But I believe the
Nope,
tag
there will
team...
be cage matches, but there's only one Hell in a Cell.
No. The tag team match will be in the cell.
But it's in a cage match.
It's in a cell.
Yes, but is it in the Hell in the Cell, which is the big cage?
Yes.
What is he not getting about this?
Yes, it's in the cage. There's only one
Okay.
cage.
There's multiple cages, CJ.
Next thing you know, he's going to be telling us we need to bring back Starrcade pay-per-view.
should.
Which is actually
They should bring back the War Games while they're at it.
Well, Starrcade is actually happening, but
Yeah, Starrcade's actually happening. That was the joke.
Yeah, but anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
So New Day versus the Usos.
That's awesome.
So the Hype Brothers try to
Screw you, Roadblock, Fastlane. We're going Starrcade.
All right. So anyway.
Focus, Daph. We need to get this done.
Hype Bros try to get hyped over the Usos, but more cracks are starting to show in the Hype Bros tag team partnership. Is this once again going to be another breakup?
Yes. Yes. With
Usos,
a heel turn of Zack Ryder.
The Usos get the win and then confront the New Day, who are watching, not at the announcer's table, commenting on the match, but in the front row with the rest of the crowd. They cut a promo back at the Usos with a mic that was hidden in the popcorn as we lead up to Hell in the Cell. These teams have been going back and forth for a while, and they've definitely put on some showstoppers and some match of the night steals in the pay-per-views that they've been in. So
yep. They're the saving grace of the pay-per-view.
I can't wait to see how they and their high-flying act incorporates the Cell into this. But yeah, what'd you guys think of the match with the Hype Brothers and with this upcoming Hell in the Cell tag team title match?
I feel bad that the Hype Brothers have turned into jobbers again.
You ain't hype, bro?
You ain't hype?
They're not hype. They need to just have them break up, Zack Ryder turn heel, destroy Mojo Rawley, and bring back the Internet Championship.
Well, what I don't get is, why don't they just have multiple tag team feuds? Why can't the Hype Brothers be feuding with, I don't know, the Fashion Police? Like, what the fuck? Where have they been?
Because that would make too much sense.
Did we ever find out who attacked the Fashion Police, or was that another drop storyline?
It was the Golden Truth.
It was never confirmed who it is. I still think, obviously,
I think it was R-Truth.
They're saving it in their back pocket for when they want to, like, bring somebody up from NXT or have a new tag team show up or whatever. But I always liked the idea that it was either the Authors of Pain or Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, even though that didn't really make sense for the timing because they were fighting each other and feuding. But anyway,
I think it would be great as R-Truth. He has a criminal record from his past, and now he's attacking the Fashion Police.
What
if it was Mark Henry?
With the build up to this specific tag feud, though, do you think New Day are going to keep the belts? Like, what do you guys think so far? If you had to, if you had to,
actually now I think I have the perfect booking.
Do you want to elaborate?
Nah, it's too good for the podcast. But we have Mark Henry and Apollo Crews as a secret tag team.
To our viewers, the Kayfabers, that means Jess has no idea what the booking is.
No, I just said it.
What?
You'd close your fucking mouth and listen.
Nothing comes out of your mouth is worth anything.
I said we bring back the sexual chocolate gimmick for Mark Henry.
They can't. This is the PG era.
Well, we play it ambiguous because he's been taking advantage of the Fashion Police by knocking them out and dragging them off.
This big piece of sexual chocolate.
Okay, all right. With that segue, we're gonna move on to.
That's why the horse's head exploded. To
Jinder Mahal versus Shinsuke for the WWE Championship. That's obviously going to be a part of Hell in the Cell, though I don't think this is technically taking place in the Cell. Jinder does another terrible promo against
You know why it's
Nakamura.
not taking place in the cell? Because the Great Khali can't climb. And he has no way of entering the cell.
So Nakamura comes out to his full entrance after Jinder gives another terrible semi-racist promo against Nakamura.
You mean you don't like Jinder Mahal's promo?
Yeah, and he lands some blows on Jinder and the Singh brothers, including a Kinshasa. WWE though, is definitely the worst feud going right now, and I
Of
don't know
course.
if it's mainly because of the writing or uh, like is it?
All
Should we
right, guys, I
say
gotta
it's
dip out.
language
I think it's
barrier?
the writing.
Do you have any closing thoughts, Jess, before you dip out?
Super hyped for the main event. I think it's going to be the best pay-per-view of the year, and I have no idea why you two are so down on it. Peace.
Oh my god.
So, so yeah, I don't know if it's like the whole Jinder can't win without using the Singh brothers, or it's he's racist, or now he's trying to say, oh well, it's all just comedy and I'm just bad at it or whatever. But
I think it's he can't win without the Singh brothers. They've proven that time
well,
and time again.
I think it's all of them. But Jinder's run with the belt has definitely not been great.
No, it
It's
has
been
been
bad.
horrible.
And
It's been horrible, and they need to end it now. They needed to end it 3 months ago.
I see potential with Jinder though because he is all right in the ring. He has a great look, and he actually has some decent promo potential. He's done some interesting things on Talking Smack when he's not shackled to being the bad foreign guy. Like he actually did some interesting stuff on Talking Smack. But
He
I mean,
does.
the sooner
He
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No,
Okay.
I was gonna say he honestly needs to get rid of the Singh brothers. He's a huge dude. He's bigger than John Cena. He's like 6'7".
Well, I think they do
He's a
that.
monster of a man.
Well,
Just let him be a heel
they
and let
introduced.
him cheat to win.
I think they introduced the Singh brothers for a couple different factors. It gives
Gives you reason to hate him.
well, it gives Jinder more ways to victory as far as a writing standpoint. It gives you more options. Also, it factors in the India stuff and the Maharaja stuff and all of the Indian themed stuff a little bit more. And then also, um, the Singh brothers, not only do they function as like acting like a distraction, like the Miz Taraj and stuff like that, but it also kind of it hides a little bit of Jinder's uh, lack of prowess in the ring when compared to a lot of the other upper tier guys, specifically on SmackDown, the more technical people. So like they the writers can hide behind uh, one of the Singh brothers taking a crazy spot from Randy Orton instead of having Orton take that spot when maybe instead of Jinder taking that spot because maybe Jinder can't take that spot as well for whatever reason.
But they don't even
I'm
have to do
speculating.
those spots. Like they don't even have to have
Well, they
Jinder
can't,
get thrown
but
off the Punjabi prison.
but
They
the
just
Singh brothers can take those spots though, and that adds extra flair to their matches.
It does, but they just need Jinder can wrestle. He can fight. He can actually make it look believable. Just let him do it.
Well, I don't. For some reason WWE thinks they can't. It's a lot like if for the football fans out there, maybe this is probably not a great analogy, but I'm going with it anyway. It's a lot like Sean Payton for the New Orleans Saints and their usage of Mark Ingram. Mark Ingram is a good, potentially great running back, but for some reason in the New Orleans system, their offensive system, and their coach will never give Mark Ingram the actual opportunity to be the lead back. He's always the lead back as far as he'll get 15 touches compared to the second guy getting 13. And that's kind of what's happening with Jinder. WWE will not take they won't stop holding his hand. And they're doing the same thing except babyface with Nakamura, and they're not letting Nakamura do his own thing. They call him the artist. They call him the King of Strong Style. They call him weird and different, and even allow Jinder to give promos specifically pointing those things out in a racist manner. I will throw that out there, but they won't even take the shackles off of Nakamura either, because he can't really give long promos or anything like that. And also, why is he keeping his mouthpiece in while he's giving promos? That makes it even harder to understand him. But anyway, the sooner Nakamura wins, the better. But at this rate,
that's what I'm thinking. I hope they do, but I know they won't.
Though. Yeah, who knows? This is going to be. This potentially has a Brock Lesnar situation because they still haven't gone through India yet. Supposedly that's happening, I think, in October or November. But, unless they're going to do a whole 50-50 booking where Nakamura wins, but then loses it, and then he wins, and then he loses it. But I think it would be a perfect time, like I was saying earlier, have KO beat Shane, have Nakamura kayfabe injure Jinder, like he Kinshasas him and breaks his orbital bone or something like that, and then KO and Nakamura get into a feud, and that way
and then have Jinder come back later
and
win it
AJ. And he feuds with AJ for the United States title, and then we get AJ versus Shinsuke, which is what it should be at WrestleMania. But,
yes.
But anyway, any closing comments on the Jinder Shinsuke stuff?
I mean, I agree with you 100%. I think that Jinder should lose the belt because it will make, even though they're like, oh, we're going to look at this very elementary and be like, if we don't have an Indian as the champion, India won't accept us. No, I think they will accept you more if you have the Indian wrestler running for the title, trying to get it, building up him as kind of not a baby face, keep him as a heel, but let him work for it a little bit. Right now, it just makes, for everyone who doesn't understand, it just makes India look cheap and weak, and that they can't even hold up on their own. They have to, we're 1 billion people strong, and the only way we can win is with 1 billion people. Let Jinder fight and do his own thing. And I think it'll honestly be the weakest match of the night, because every SmackDown pay-per-view since Jinder's had the belt, the main event has destroyed the pay-per-view. I think Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon is going to be the highlight of the night, and I think the tag team's going to be right next to it, followed by the women's match. Everything else is going to be shit.
Okay. Well,
that's what I think.
Moving on, we have the women's match, which would be Natalya versus Charlotte. So the build-up for that was for SmackDown, Charlotte beat Carmella after a good match, and Natalya, though, comes out and says she's so happy that Ric Flair, who's been sick and he was actually in really bad shape for a while.
He had liver failure, I believe.
Yeah, so Rick, and I think the doctor can let us all know that is not good for you.
No, but neither's drinking 24/7.
So Natalya is so happy that Rick is still alive, so that he can watch when Charlotte loses in Hell in the Cell. So that was a great heel line. I'm excited for this. I'm not a big Natalya fan. I don't really like her moveset. It leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion. She does everything fine. She's perfectly average. She has a great lineage with the Hart family and the Hart Foundation. But besides doing the sharpshooter, I mean, what else does she really do? Oh, I'm sorry, the figure four.
Discus. Is it the discus clothesline?
I'm sorry, I'm being such an idiot right now. But is it the sharpshooter or?
It's the sharpshooter.
It is the sharpshooter. Okay.
Yeah.
For some, it's the. Okay, so are we gonna get a dueling?
Same move.
Are they gonna have a dueling sharpshooter versus figure four?
They've done this before. This was a 3-match playoff for NXT, for the NXT women's title, and then they did this. This is how Natalya. This is how Natalya got beat Charlotte the first time as a heel. Like, this match has been done over and over again. The only thing is when Natalia's a heel, she doesn't fall for naive tactics like most baby faces do. And I think that this is going to be a great match because I bet you Ric Flair will be there and Natalia's going to do something just like Jinder Mahal slapped Randy Orton's dad. Natalia's going to do something to Ric Flair and go over strong, as a heel should.
Awesome. Do you think this is going to be a Hell in the Cell?
I hope so, because I think they would pull off a better Hell in the Cell because they're both big, strong women than destroying Sasha Banks in the Hell in the Cell like they did.
Okay, cool. I don't think it will be, but I think all the matches should be in the Cell just because. But then we got AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin for the U.S. title. In SmackDown, Ty Dillinger actually got mixed into this feud by having a match against Corbin. AJ Styles comes out to give commentary. It was a decent match until Corbin throws Dillinger into AJ. Dillinger then gets counted out, ironically, to a perfect 10. AJ gives chase to Corbin, but he bails and laughs up the ramp and grabs the mic and announces that he's going to take the belt from AJ with no shortcuts.
I hope he doesn't.
Can't they have AJ feud with anybody else, man? There's so many
No.
good wrestlers, man. Have him feud with Sammy. Why can't we get AJ and Sammy?
Because it would be too good, CJ. It would be too good.
This is why we can't have nice things. I mean, everybody knows.
Can't.
I think Corbin leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, he's
He's literally the definition of mediocre at best.
He's one of the few heels that they have in the company, but I think this would be so much better if it was AJ Styles versus even a Dolph Ziggler or Bobby Roode or Sami Zayn or a Randy Orton or a face Rusev. I
agree. I think anyone could have been better. But speaking of Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, I think that's going to be an amazing match.
Is that going to be in? Is the Styles Corbin going to be in a cell?
I don't think it's going to be in a cell. I think it's going to be the best match that AJ could put on. While carrying Baron Corbin.
I mean, I did make the proclamation that AJ could get a 3-star match with a blow-up doll. So I'm pretty sure.
Think he's about to get a 3-star match with this blow-up doll.
So then we get the supposed match that's going to be Dolph Ziggler versus Bobby Roode. So Ziggler.
I am super excited about that.
You know what? I like Ziggler, and just like a lot of these other guys, like a Luke Harper or an Eric Rowan or any of the other guys on Raw that are stuck in mid-card hell, anything that gives Dolph Ziggler, limelight is great. I really wish, his program with Nakamura had so much potential, but just like a lot of this stuff, I don't know really who to blame. I'm sure it's a little bit of everything, but I don't know if it's the writing or Vince or the wrestlers or what, but it just seems like for one reason or another, they can't pull through with some of these feuds. I don't know if it was a chemistry thing between Ziggler and Nakamura, but after that, Ziggler hasn't really done anything until coming back up with this whole he's kind of on the Drew Gulak train of like, all this flashy stuff is bullshit. I'm giving you 5-star matches every night, and you guys just boo me and don't give a shit. So
I will tell you this much. He's pulling off intros better than the originals do.
So Ziggler does his best Undertaker.
That was an amazing Undertaker.
And okay, there was 2 things. One, I don't know if the broadcast like muted the audio, because I know sometimes they'll mute the crowd reactions, but I was shocked the crowd didn't like pop crazy for the gong. Like the gong went off and there were some cheers, but it wasn't like as crazy loud as I thought it would be. And I didn't
notice it until the end when he actually got into the ring, because I was in the other room. But when he came out and the gong hit, did he have the DZ on the Jumbotron, because every intro he does,
it's just been the moon. It was just the moon and the darkness. It was the legit Undertaker opening, and it was the legit Undertaker clothing. And the way they showed it, I don't know.
It was way too big for him.
Yeah, I don't know if you rewatched it, but when he's walking down the ramp, he has the hat pulled over and his head tilted down, and the camera is shooting at a high angle. So all you really see is the long coat. You can tell it's a little oversized, but it's not at the angle it's shot at. You can't really tell that much. And then he gets to the stairs, and it finally pans, and you can see like his orange skin and like him laughing. And then he looks up, and then you can obviously tell it's Ziggler. So I thought that was amazing. I thought it was hilarious. He keeps complaining that fans are just loving flashy entrances and style over substance. They don't want to give a guy like him, who's just a better wrestler, the benefit of the doubt. And then, naturally, the newly promoted Bobby Roode comes out to rebut him. The guy with the most flashy entrance next to Nakamura has beef with that. He calls Dolph a hypocrite and then says that, you know what, if you think I don't got any skills, why don't you fight me? And challenges Ziggler to a match at Hell in a Cell. So I definitely think this has potential to be match of the night.
I think it will be.
It depends on, is Roode more than just a gimmick? Now, if they're smart, they're gonna actually let Ziggler win. But Ziggler is suffering just from Bray Wyatt syndrome, where every single feud he's in, he loses, so he's losing credibility. But I wouldn't mind if this was an ongoing feud. I hope this isn't a.
I wouldn't either. I hope it is. The only thing is, I don't know if they're trying to push, because it seems like every time they bring someone from NXT, they're pushing them as undefeated until a big pay-per-view. I don't think they should be undefeated. I think they should win their opening match, their debut, but I don't think they should be undefeated from it. Mm-hmm. And I think that they should, like you say, promote this match, promote this feud, and let Dolph Ziggler win and be like, see, he's just a gimmick. And then let Bobby Roode come out full, like, just let him come out to like his normal gimmick, the glorious walking down, and then the next pay-per-view, let him come out like he did in NXT, from the rafters with a beam of light and an entire chorus orchestra, like singing.
He goes
in the background,
even harder into the gimmick.
He goes full out, full gorilla, and then just destroys Dolph Ziggler. Be like, the power of the gimmick was glorious.
Does he like team up with Charlotte and get like Rick's like theme?
I don't think he would. I think that'd be too much for him. I don't think he can handle it.
Yeah,
right now.
I agree with that as well. But it would be an interesting kind of way to turn the feud, is if like he goes even harder into the gimmick. He's like, man, the glorious thing. It's like, it's got me this far, but I need a little bit more. Aha! I need one of Ric Flair's coats. Like, he needs just like a little more magic to get him over. But yeah, I think that's definitely the wild card on as far as the Hell in the Cell matches are concerned. It's gonna be I don't think there's gonna be a middle road with this one. It's either gonna be great or it's gonna leave.
I think it's going to be.
I think if Roode goes over, it's going to leave a bad taste in my mouth, though.
Probably.
But he does have that glorious DDT, and
he does.
We at Kayfabe is not dead. Fully support the DDT as a finisher.
Yes.
If Jake the Snake can do it, anybody can.
It's a glorious finisher.
So then for the last match on the card that I am aware of so far, and the last relevant thing that really happened on SmackDown, was the Randy Orton versus Rusev feud. We get the best for last, which is Rusev Day. Happy Rusev Day to you, Dapper.
It is so ridiculous that first he gets the star from Russia, and now he gets the key of Bulgaria.
Whoa.
I'm like, pick a culture and go with it.
You're talking to the one and only handsome Rusev. You show some fucking respect, okay? I
will when his wife does.
He was getting the key to his hometown from the mayor of that city. and Aiden English was singing the Bulgarian national anthem for everybody to. He was singing it so beautifully and singing it for everybody to hear and take in. And Rusev is just so happy. And he's standing up on the platform. He's just raising his key. And of course, Randy Orton comes out of nowhere to ruin everything. And he hits an RKO on English. And then he hits it on Rusev. And then I'm sad. And this is fucking bullshit. And this is all Randy Orton does. And why can't we have... Okay, this is my biggest beef with it. Why can't we have face Rusev? Why can't Rusev accept it? Why does that have to be a heel thing? Why does him getting a key to his city a bad thing?
Because him getting the Star of Russia was a bad thing. And they've pretty much just redoing this whole thing.
Bulgaria is not Russia.
It is in WWE logic.
Oh my god. And Orton always just acts like an asshole. He's obviously a heel. What the fuck?
But he's the cool heel.
All right. So this is what I was going to end the show on. Is this going to take place in the cell? I think it will. And what is Rusev's chances of victory? 5%?
I mean, logically, yes. But I hope Rusev does. I hope the Bulgarian brute shows up. Not handsome Rusev, the Bulgarian brute.
I'm just saying, he could totally go on a babyface run. Like, honestly,
he could.
Honestly, Rusev should be in Jinder Mahal's spot, and that would be like in the alternate universe where Rusev
it would have been
get
so
hurt,
much better.
It would have been a million. All of those matches would have been like at least 4 stars with all of the high quality opponents that Jinder's gotten to face. Like, fuck. But then again, I don't know what's up with Orton. Like, I know I come off as a hater, but it's just his matches are just lazy. Like, they all end the same way and just boring. And even
I think he's bored with it himself, so he puts in a mediocre performance.
I'm bored of watching him, but I want Rusev so badly to go over, and I know it's not going to happen. I'm just setting myself up for disappointment. But any other closing comments on SmackDown or this episode as a whole?
I mean, not so much. I mean, it always gets me. Raw, I can pinpoint exactly what's going to happen, and I can enjoy every minute of it. SmackDown, I shouldn't be upset because kayfabe's not dead, but I literally have no idea where the matches are going to go, where the storyline's going to go. It's literally every time they have a pay-per-view, my predictions are up in the air because they do things. Like you say, bring out Rusev, give him this whole grand pomp and circumstance just to lose. Have Dolph Ziggler come out to this grand pomp circumstance and lose. Have Jinder Mahal come out and be racist against Shinsuke and win once again. Like, they do the exact opposite of logic. And I hate it. And it really and truly, in the beginning of the brand split, I loved SmackDown. Now, I literally record it and fast forward through it to watch the highlights.
Interesting.
It is a waste of 2 hours of my Tuesday.
If I will say, I know I keep kind of hypothetically pitching this in our pre-show conversations, but we may very well either need to turn this into a movie podcast like you so desperately want to, or we need to change this into what I would like to do, which is just change it to watching the better promotion, which we all know is New Japan.
I think, personally, and we'll let our fans decide, the Kayfabers, I think that what we can do is the podcast predictions for pay-per-views and recaps and do brief synopsises of what has happened on Raw and SmackDown, but we can focus on New Japan. We can do a movie review of what I would like to do is wrestling movies, which could be any movie involving a wrestler. And I think
every 5-star classic that the Hulkster has been in. We'll start with those.
Well, we can, yes.
Well, I think that's a great way to end the show. Definitely, if you liked what we did today, definitely give us a like or a subscribe. Give us a comment.
Yeah.
Tell us what you like. Tell us what you didn't like. If you like some of these different proposals we have for different kind of show concepts, should we keep this current format and do other spin-off podcasts, like specifically about New Japan, or should we have a movie spin-off? Let us know. Hit us up, and with that, we'll see you guys next time on the next episode of Kayfabe is Not Dead.
Yep, this is your champion signing off.